push. There we go. Can't stop. Gloves on, gloves off. Ready up, ready up. We got a lot to catch up on. And you hearing the impressions right there on Keep On Pushing. We need that after last night's presidential debate, but we got a lot of more to get into beside that. But man, oh man, I tell you, there's a lot going on, and we got to keep on pushing.
Yeah, man. It's crunch time, you know, crunch time. Less than 50 days for the general election in America. You know?
38 days left.
Yeah.
38 days left
Crunch time.
The election.
You got to get out the vote, you know. Get out
Go vote.
Go vote. You know, we don't want to have to, you know. All right, so no intimidation. You know, if you have to do the writing, you have to do the writing ballot, you know. You have to basically go there and claim your right, you know.
That's
you
right.
know, the Voting Act wasn't easy to obtain, you know.
Nope.
So for a lady not to be voting many years ago and have the right to vote today, that is what we call, you know, a good affair. So today we're asking the ladies, the man them, all the people them with the power of the vote, the ballot, go out and vote, gloves off, gloves on, looking for all our fans, thousands of fans to go out and vote. And again, that is a fundamentally constitutional right. You know, the mayor is here, the mayor, the great Richard Thomas, the youngest mayor ever in this city. And, you know, as usual, it's an honor to be here on Gloves Off, Gloves On, the 14th episode, and it is in September, the last day in September. So we have the mayor, Richard Thomas, here, and you know, we come to take this platform, Gloves Off and Gloves On, to a higher stratosphere.
Because there are a lot of issues that we have to literally keep on pushing through.
Yeah.
And earlier today, I was listening to the Prime Minister of Jamaica, and he was giving a speech on the economy, and it caught my attention because, you know, he was on Instagram Live, and he was laying out a case with his economic commission to support small businesses in a very fundamental, micro way. Yeah. And you know what? He's right. Yeah. That's what we need. We need to make sure that our small businesses have the little things to push through this pandemic. And it's masks, it's sanitizer, it's other types of equipment to help them have access to stuff that's going to give consumers confidence, but also take some pressure off of them, because, you know, you got some places that used to see thousands of tourists come and sustain the restaurants in the tourism industry, and now there's almost nobody.
Two of in industrial that we definitely is our lifeline was the tourism. Everybody know that tourism is one of our breadbasket, and you know the port. The port, you know. And right now, everybody know the Chinese own the port of Jamaica because of the agreement, you know. So money still coming because that's the money they use to pay the security force and take care of a lot of things. But the tourism money, Mr. Mayor,
is missing, and it's hurting a lot of people. And that's where I just say, you know, I'm happy to hear the Prime Minister of Jamaica talk about these things, because I'm looking for our president, our version of our leader, be it on the national level, be it on the state level, be it even on the local level. What's the plan to get our economy back on track? And what's the plan to even help education stay on track? Because have the economy function without teachers in the classroom and kids in the classroom. And right now we just seem to be, you know, government seems to be failing across the board on getting education on track, and our economy is just suffering as a result.
Yeah, and again, everybody know the stimulus bill that they give over a month, 2 months now is over with. So the punch line is getting longer.
Yep.
And we see where the unemployment line getting longer. So what the mayor is saying, you know, is absolutely right. It's begun to look. And next month, you know, we just have the moratorium for the rent. And that is going to be up in maybe by tomorrow. So
it's going to be up soon. But what I'm looking at is we know how to solve this problem of the coronavirus. Meaning, we need to wash our hands, wear a mask. It's not a complete solution, but it's a start. Social distance. But if you look at the NBA, you look at Major League Baseball, you look at
Football.
NFL, hockey, right? Look at all these leagues. They have protocols in place to, you know, make sure that the people on those teams are not exposed, or if they are exposed, they isolate.
Right.
And for some reason, governments across the country have not figured out how to put that in place on a massive scale.
Right, there's no statistic.
Right.
There is nothing to show if 10 kids go to school, how we gonna test them, how we gonna do contract tracing. You know, it is...
There are a few governments that are getting it right, like in Seattle. Seattle's doing it. And to their credit, they're doing a phenomenal job at having that, you know, very detailed approach to tracking the virus.
Right.
But how come we don't have it widespread across the country? And that's where I'm saying, like, look, we have every tool in the book. We have telecommunications, we have, you know, banking systems, you name it. There's a way to track down and trace this virus and just isolate it to a point where hopefully in a couple of weeks we can get the numbers even further low and hopefully begin this process of containing it so we don't have to stop everything because of the threat of the virus.
Yeah, and that's what they're looking at right now. Our next cluster is in Brooklyn.
Yep.
And
Rockland County.
Yeah. And the thing is like a re-emerging of this COVID virus. So again, Mayor Thomas is saying the right thing. You have to have you can't have government scribbling and fighting and arguing when people dying, you know what I mean?
And government needs to implement the real track and trace plan. We need rapid testing available.
Rapid testing.
That's affordable to everybody. And when you look at there was a news report yesterday that airlines are doing rapid testing, and it costs them $57 a test. That's great. But there are tests that are not just rapid, but they're cheaper than $57.
Right.
So why can't we use every tool in our book to have access to all these rapid tests? And look, we can figure it out. If people can get on Facebook and Instagram, and if they can, you know, surf YouTube, you name it, there's enough technology there to create a platform to trace and track the coronavirus. There's enough there. There's enough will.
Yeah.
But we just need access to the rapid tests. And right now, the federal government and state governments, for some reason, they're not making that a priority. And I don't understand why. Why?
I believe,
why not?
You know, it's in the time now where we call a general election. We have two different type of ideology. They're moving apart when everybody should be coming as one. So there's many things on the table than just the COVID. But if you notice that the COVID almost becomes second to a lot of things, you know what I mean? And Mr. Mayor, they need, as you say, a comprehensive plan, not next week or what, no.
Yeah, right now.
Because the prediction for this pandemic is that over 200,000 people are going to be dying before January or
Another, so we have 206,000 people that already passed away since March. And they're predicting another couple 100,000 will pass away because is, you know, without a plan to put it to an end. And this is where I can tell you that we can begin to put it to an end by having, you know, repeated testing in communities.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
Every week there should be 3 tests, be it by saliva, by serology, or nasal swab, whichever one. But there has to be a combination of tests
Mount Vernon did have
to show where it is.
Mount Vernon have a test center.
But where are the results?
Over center, that's what I'm saying.
Where are the results?
Health center, we have a test center around the back. But up till now, the statistic is not out to show, you know.
Right, and this is where I'm saying, like, there should be testing in a very comprehensive manner.
Right.
For example, in the business district on 4th Avenue, there should be a method to compel people to voluntarily sign up for tests as they come in.
Right.
And it's the same thing like a stadium. You go to a game, you get tested before you go into the game.
Yeah.
You keep your mask on, you do your social distancing, but at least you have a level of confidence that once you get into the stadium, you tested negative. Therefore, you don't have the virus.
No.
Therefore, you can enjoy the game without having to be in complete fear.
All you have to do is just keep your social distance, you know what I mean?
And it's just, that's an extra safety precaution. So the point is, we have to get back to that. Movie theaters are completely shut. Restaurants in New York City are shut, and they're about to shut down again because the numbers are ticking up. And that's where it's like, restaurants should have a mechanism to say, here's a rapid test, you take it, they share their results with the health officials through electronic.
Right.
And next thing you know, you're going to have this new system of reporting, but you'll have real time finding where the virus is or where it is not. And that's what we really need to focus on. We need to focus on repeated rapid testing for schools, for events, for business.
And contract tracing. Rapid testing with contract tracing. Remember, both of them have to go together, so we can find statistically where this thing is, who have it, and who can deal with it. You're right, Mr. Mayor.
And that's the only way you're going to get back to work.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're going to get kids back in school. And that's how you're only going to get everything on a better track forward. But I didn't hear at the presidential debate.
No.
What I heard at last night's presidential debate between President Donald Trump and Vice President Joe Biden, that's my ESPN ticket, there's something going on in the games. But what I heard from them was more of just a race to the bottom, a tit-tat. And I'm hoping that
it was like a schoolyard argument, like we in the schoolyard and we just argue,
And we can't allow emotions to ultimately determine who our next president is going to be, because those emotional decisions got us in this place in the first place, and it's a bad place. So we need to have a more rational approach to running government.
Good clarity.
And my thing is, this election is going to be determined by who is more angry and who's more frustrated than the other group. And my hope is that people have seen enough to be angry and frustrated to replace the hate we saw for a race, replaced with a greater hate of racism.
Because
we can't have the racism in the White House.
No,
that's the biggest problem.
The statistic last night was very, very alarming. The people them say they want back their 90 minutes because they didn't get nothing from the leader, not the guy who was vice.
We got a domestic terrorist dog whistle warned, sound off on that stage when the Proud Boys were told to stand by.
Right.
Not stand down, but step back and stand by, meaning be ready for battle. And that was a wake-up call to everybody. It's a warning that there's a sentiment that wants to see this confrontation continue, and that confrontation only works for those in power. It doesn't work for the people who are the power. Right. And the people right now have an opportunity to do away with the suppression. We have to deal with the intimidation, but we have to know that it's for a better, higher cause. And that's a better life. Yeah. And the only way we're going to get back on track to a better life is by having someone in the White House, someone in the Senate, people in Congress that are going to collaborate not try to, obliterate each other. We need a collaborative team to get work done, and that's what I'm hoping November 3rd is the outcome. People want to see America great again. We want to see it happen with people that are rational, reasonable, and ready to work with each other, not ready to destroy each other.
Gloves off, gloves on. This is what we call a commercial break. All right? Commercial break was
A witness to grace.
Witness to
That's
grace.
right.
Yeah.
Reverend Richardson.
This is a commercial break, but we're promoting one of the finest book ever written. For the last, I can't remember how much year, but this is a book you have to get a copy. We have our copy, Witness to Grace. It is a masterpiece, you know what I mean?
That's right.
And
it talks about the story of Reverend Dr. Franklin Richardson, who has a great story to tell. And I'm just moving it around a bit because the glare, as you can see, it's
beautiful.
grace.
Everything about it beautiful.
And he has some great people that have read the book and attest to it, from John Richard Bryant, a former senior bishop and presiding prelate of the 4th Episcopal District.
I don't
African
think it's
Methodist
a
Episcopal
cigarette
Church.
you see having this book. That's not a cigarette. That's just the book.
Yeah, that's the mark.
Yeah, the mark.
That's his glasses. That's his glasses.
Yeah. All right, so do take it on.
Reverend Al Sharpton's on here. You got a lot of people that reviewed this book, and just know that it talks about Reverend Richardson's rise to global influence.
Yeah.
And he has some gems in here for the next generation. And I spoke to him the other day. This is a signed copy he gave to me. We got to talking, and I can tell you that there's a lot of wisdom in here. Yeah. And I just know that his wisdom is definitely something that I'm looking to bear witness to and continue to apply as we continue to move.
Gloves off, gloves on.
Get your copy.
Endorse that book. We endorse it and we expect you to go and make it a bestseller, even though we know it's a bestseller.
So you have to Google
Yes.
Witness to Grace, Reverend Richardson, Google it, and you'll find it. I'm not sure if it's on Amazon, but I know it's on Grace Baptist Church's website. So look out for Witness to Grace. Get your copy today.
Talking about Reverend Richardson from the city of
Mount Vernon. That's right. Chairman of the National Action Network.
Oh my God. We're going to have him on the show one of these times. You know,
one of these days we're going to get him on here.
Yeah.
We're going to talk up about some stuff, some great stuff.
Now, let's talk about the census. We're talking about today's supposed to be the last day of the census, but I see where the federal government, to a judge, extend it, and then the Bureau of the Census, or, the government, they say that it's the 5th of October. So we have, once somebody say it extend until this day, and then we have a next one. But today we say the census is important. Go and do your census. Be counted. Don't get intimidated, because it's empowered people. And it shows that you deserve the money for your neighborhood, for the street, for the health care, for your tax. The money is important for government, local government, to fix up the infrastructure. And Richard Thomas, you never get a chance to be a part of the census because you see what's happening. But I'm sure, with the type of plan Richard Thomas have, tourism, we're talking about the ferry, we're talking about Mount Vernon, we're talking about Memorial Field, we're talking about finishing up all the bridges, infrastructure on the road, changing the name of some of these roads around here. I'm sure Richard Thomas would lead that, because some of the name of the road in the city of Mount Vernon need to change, because we are dealing with change, Mr. Mayor.
So, even though I'm not in office, my work continues.
Yes.
The 3rd Avenue Bridge is well underway. The
6th Avenue Bridge finished.
10th Avenue Bridge is well underway, almost done. And you have a few more bridges that they're going to get to and fix and replace. But the one that I'm really excited about is the Lincoln Avenue Bridge. That is a $100 million project in and of itself.
Wow.
And part of that project is to beautify Wilson Woods Lake. It's to dredge the lake and gonna clean up a lot of the weeds and overgrowth that's back there, and you're gonna see a whole new park that's been forgotten.
Yes.
You're gonna reclaim it. What I'm urging everybody to do, though, is to remind the state of New York, remind the county, and remind the city that we requested cherry blossom trees, hundreds of cherry blossom trees to basically follow the Hutch River down and around the lake. This way you have one of the longest, most beautiful, lush, blossoming trees.
Ecosystem.
That's free.
That can bring birds.
You don't have to
all
go
different types
to
of, yes.
Japan.
No.
You don't have to go
But in
to
the
Washington,
Caribbean,
D.C.
yeah.
You can have a beautiful
Right here in
experience
Mount
right here in Mount Vernon with the cherry blossom trees that will be planted high, that will be planted along with this project, because we want to see beauty in our own community. We want to see when people go for their weddings or their life milestone moments, their birthdays, be able to go to our park in Mount Vernon and have a beautiful backdrop, a beautiful experience by the river or by the cherry blossom trees. We'll go on. You good?
So what we're saying, you know, the future generation would be so appreciative of this.
That's right.
Because remember, Mount Vernon is what we call a millennium city. That's what Richard Thomas said. You know, that's what Richard Thomas was building. Because we are seeing the explosion of the young people. And just getting the young people and even helping to plant and the neighborhood involved, it would be a blessing. So I remember we are sending this one straight to whoever is the government that control the renovation of, you know, down there at Wilson, cherry blossom tree.
And also there were some other trees, I can't remember the names offhand, but we also resolved that we're going to have trees with maroon leaves and trees with gold leaves. This way you have this maroon, gold, and green, beautiful mix.
My mother
because when the cherry blossoms are blossoming, you're going to have all this great green, but it's going to mix in so nice. And you're going to have a testament shout out to Mount Vernon with the maroon and gold.
Yeah.
So we thought this was
background picture, you know what I mean? Oh.
But I'm telling you, there's a lot to it, because right now people need the outdoors. And think of the tourism business that'll come, especially if you have these kiosks set up where people can sell coffee or books or some kind of other, food item that can be sold in the park.
Right.
But these are all things that need to be pushed through, and this bridge project is the catalyst to reclaim our park.
Build up the business, build up the neighborhood, you can't give it. That's what the mayor's saying.
Yep.
While everything going on, the COVID, economical stagnant, you still have to have a vision, and that's what we love about Mayor Thomas here. Mayor Thomas always have the vision. You hear what the man say? This is the time now where we do something that can satisfy highlight Mount Vernon in the next 15 years.
That's right. And for a long time, cement us as a great public parks place. And what I want to also just shift to is education. Last night we received a message from the school district that they're not going to open until mid-November.
Wow.
And that hurts a lot, because parents, especially working parents, need to get to work, but they can't really work if their kids are at home doing homeschooling. And this is where I come back to the presidential debate. We really need to have an agenda laid out for both presidential candidates to subscribe to. There needs to be a line in the sand that says, look, y'all can point fingers, you can attack each other all you want, but stop attacking our kids, stop jeopardizing their future.
Right.
Put the money on the table now, to get them what they need, pay the teachers, provide the PPE, and focus on bringing our kids into a safer place to get their education and a much stronger foundation. We can't continue to have this scenario where there's, this constant uncertainty.
Yeah, depression on the parents. The parents is
Can't
scared.
have it.
We're talking it. The parents is scared to send them kids to come to school. Because at the end of the day, we are finding out that statistically the kid involved with the COVID, the population is rising. So people is very, very protective of their kids. So we need concrete, comprehensive
back to school plan. Just get back to school.
Not even in the debate we hear about that. We don't hear nothing in the debate with those presidents and you know, about the comprehensive plan. You know, right now the president, the governor and the mayor, you know, in the city of Mount Vernon, they still going at it with the school system. But one thing I can tell you is, I believe the parents supposed to have a legitimate talk in here, and this is where they should have formed a coalition with the parents, the school, and government.
Yeah.
And everything we say, instead of have this parents, government, and legislature, and everybody is like coming up with different ideas while the kids suffer.
and that's going to be some of the greatest threats to our future. Our kids not being able to, you know, have a strong, solid foundation, be it from kindergarten to our high school students.
Yeah.
Like, we really need to solve this national crisis, and we need to deal with it
Fast.
now. It can't be a political punching bag, and I don't want it to get lost in the Supreme Court nomination.
That's what
really,
I'm gonna say.
I really
let
need
me take
to
off my
focus on this. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, God bless.
So we take off our hat to the over the weekend. She have a private funeral with her family. And Mr. Mayor, I have to shout out the guy, the brother who do that push up at the ceremony, you know.
Yeah.
The brother who do that push up, her personal trainer.
Yeah.
That one take my take.
Yeah. So one of the things, as you can see, we live,
Yeah,
and everybody's coming in as they're supposed to be. You can see it's live on 4th Avenue. But one of the things that you know, we know that in the loss of Ruth Bader Ginsburg has been the loss of the Supreme Court from being balanced. Even though it was more conservative in the numbers, we do have a situation where the Supreme Court is now going to become firmly conservative for the next maybe few decades. But what I can tell you is we have a scenario where a Supreme Court justice is going to be pushed through, and we have to just be prepared to have this debate. And I hope they have the debate fast. So before I talk about the Supreme Court nominee and the process, I do want to get, you know, your thoughts, Gassi. What do you think the Democrats should do about the nomination process for the next Supreme Court justice? What do you think?
Well, personally, as I see it set up, it is a done deal. But what the Democrat could do is, all right, you're pushing through this lady, and you want to come up with all the delay tactics and all that thing, you know. So it is not easy. But what you should do is make the mistake and lose the woman's vote by, you know, criticize this lady real hard and make she look, you know, just make sure you know that this lady here, on her record, she's a brilliant person, and leave it like that, and then you fight the nomination in your own technique, so you want to do it with, you know, the Chuck Schumer and all that, but don't, you know, go toward and lose a woman's vote, because you know women are very sympathetic, and they're watching it, because it's like they're setting it up, you know, you don't see it, you know, it's a technique, you know, where they bring this lady in, and she has the background, and they expect the Democrats to start to, you know, put fire upon her, and then the lady voters get sympathetic, you know, and say, oh, that's how you treat ladies, and then they lose the vote. So it's a very tentative, it's like a catch-22 sneaky. There's a lot of tactics playing in this election, and as an immigrant from Jamaica, I saw it, you know, I saw it that they could have hold off, because if President Obama did it in 2016, and they said, okay, let's wait till the election, and the people vote in the Senate, and the Senate, the people vote in the President, and as they do it, the people vote in the Senate, the people vote in the President, and the Senate and the President, you know, nominate the Supreme Court Justice. Right. So that would give the people a true choice. But this is like, in Jamaica we call it a highway robbery, you know?
Well, no, we definitely, look, we're definitely getting a totally hypocritical process. The Republicans
said, what's good for the goat is good for the sheep. And if you can use the same pin to stick the goat, now is the time for the pin to stick the sheep. And you don't want to take the pain. Come on, no. That's how our show is, we have the most excited streaming show. Background is live. Nothing is fake around here. Our thing is just
real
top of the
news,
world.
real time.
And we want to
real views.
Oh, real view.
That's
Instead
right.
of people in the background walk. This is like, yeah, again, it is one of those things we give those type of analogy on. Because again, sometimes when you speak, people don't understand that in everything in life, there is a truth in it. And the truth about it, it was a lot of bluffing on this debating, When somebody asks a direct question as an educated person, you have to answer precisely, with clarity. Because you have kids listening, and you don't want the kids to act like you. You don't want a kid to hear you ask a question and then start to talk about rating. No, you want the answer appropriate, At that answer make everybody say, something, I like that. So, it was a grandeur last night to me, one person was still pretending like they was on The Apprentice, gonna fire us. And you can see a real politician up there, a man who has dignity, who hold his ground. I think get a little draw out, but then again, everybody has feelings, his blood runs through everybody's vein. So, I'm not gonna see you there talking about Harris, and the mayor gonna say, my little Harris, your mad Richardson is gonna, listen, you be punched in the mouth, because you have to watch it, That's not fair, that's below the waist, we call it, below the belt, low blow.
And there was a lot of low blows last night.
Yeah,
and that's where I know that
it wasn't fair last night. To the people.
We need to have this, this commitment that the issues, the big issues, are going to be dealt with. Not they're going to be, destroyed or delegated to the back. We need the issues up front, and I think the person that can speak through the issues, and I think Vice President Biden did a great job of reminding everybody that 200,000 people died because the issues were not dealt with, and right now they're still not being dealt with on testing.
Right.
We recognize that a vaccine may be available, but vaccines need time to demonstrate and prove themselves to be safe. And while there's a lot of technology and there's a lot of data to back up the claims that the vaccines may be safe, we need to see more evidence of that. And that's where the CDC and the director said masks are a great method to slow down and stop coronavirus. But testing is an essential infrastructure that must be put in place.
What I want to say, Mr. Mayor, now, let me ask you a question. On this vaccine, what you say, with the vaccine, you hear they say the vaccine not going to be ready until next year, I think. The president said the vaccine going to be ready in maybe 2-3 weeks. So, and then the scientific part of it, they throw it out through the window. You can look on the TV, there's a lot of misinformation coming through. Mr. Mayor, what do you think?
Right. No, it's being deliberately confused to create this, uncertainty. And that's where we need everybody, from people like you and me, just regular people, to Vice President Biden, to just focus on the facts. And the facts is, let's take the president at his word. The vaccine will be available in 2-3 weeks. But what are we going to do to complement that vaccine? It's not going to end the virus overnight. There's a lot of work to go into eradicating coronavirus, and it's not going to happen overnight. So we need to go back to the basics. What are we going to do to get kids back in school? What are we going to do to make sure businesses can open again? What are we going to do to make sure that we are tracking and tracing the virus to a point where it is completely isolated and we don't need to wear these masks?
No.
But we know it's a new way of life.
Right.
But I come back to, we have a whole new set of issues to deal with now, from privacy, and that's where this new Supreme Court nominee is going to come into play. She's going to decide a lot of privacy issues that are going to come up. And I think you're right to say.
And wave is on the line, you know.
Well,
Affordable Act is on the line.
Well, the Affordable Act is definitely on the line. We know that. We heard that last night.
Voters' right is on the line. Immigration, another big issue that.
So, and this is where, you know, I say the Republicans are very good at playing the long game on politics.
Yeah.
Democrats are good at the immediate, the right now, but Democrats need to shift to a more bigger picture view and play this longer game. So your point of, you know, don't be too damaging to the new incoming justice, you know, I think that's valid. And I think the Democrats should put the issues on the table, try and build their case to explain to the public that if they do get control of Congress, the Senate and the presidency, they will expand the court to do more work and address more issues in a
6-3.
Right, in a more balanced, fundamental way. Yes, there are 300 federal judges that Trump appointed.
Right.
Maybe another 350 judges are needed to deal with the caseload that's going to be coming in, all because of the pandemic and the virus and all the other issues that are coming up. So an expansion of government may be necessary given the fact that we have to restructure everything. We have to restructure our lives, our education, our economy. So to me, it makes the most logical sense to make the case of expanding the courts in government, because guess what? The government, by putting so much money out to fight the pandemic, and it's still not winning that war because of the partisan politics that's preventing progress.
Yes.
So I come to this point. November 3rd is a decisive day.
A big day.
Not just for the country, but also for Mount Vernon.
Yeah.
Mount Vernon has the same chance to restructure. Mount Vernon has a chance to put in place revisions to its charter so that we don't have the crazy,
politics,
the same crazy politics that kept us from achieving our dreams. But guess what? It didn't stop us from achieving. Even though the opposition was successful in getting me out of office early, and there's a lot of dispute around the primary election. We ain't going to get into that here or now. But look at the work that continues to bear fruit. The bridges are being replaced.
Yes.
Memorial Field is coming back. The street lights are on. The city was safe. I left Mount Vernon much better off than I found it.
Statistic is low, same way, because of Richardson's policy.
And we were on the brink of a major breakthrough by making Mount Vernon a destination where things are made and we make things happen. So I hope that, the structure that's here remains strong and continues to, show the results.
When Amazon was going to be a part of New York, Mount Vernon, because of Richie, was being looked at. So, not only that, go and see all the business that came to Mount Vernon in the last 5 years because of Richie Thomas. So, we don't have to look on Richie record and know what he's saying.
But I do want to point this out. So this is an audit. This is an audit from the State Controller's Office. I'm going to be
gloves off,
talking about this in our next show. I'm not going to talk about it today. I just want to point it out. Look for it.
Yes.
Because there are things in here that are very important.
Shocking.
And I just want to find one of them because it's an important point to make, because it goes to show you that the obstruction that I faced wasn't just from
deliberate.
It was deliberate, but it was also former Controller Maureen Walker and the City Council and many other parties. So there's a point in here. It's on page 27. It's the first paragraph on the page, and it says the audit could not be completed due to the inability to access 2016 city banking records maintained by the Controller's Office, as well as the inability to access staff and records residing within the Controller's Office, necessary to update audit files regarding the city funds, audits, that were originally conducted in 2017. So the obstruction started as soon as I got in,
Yeah.
and it continued and got worse.
Yeah.
The lesson here is that problems get worse when you don't solve them.
And you don't solve it.
And right now, the problem in Mount Vernon, they do a good job at describing some of the issues. They talk about the informal processes and how Mount Vernon does not have a set of guidelines or procedures or any real type of rules on how it operates.
Right.
And that's why I went to great length to try and define the operation, put it in a new system that you can track
Transparent.
and be transparent,
Yes.
so that we can make better decisions for us as a whole. And you can see the results of my work.
Right.
It's go across the 6th Avenue Bridge. Go get ready to cross the
Go
3rd
to
Avenue Bridge.
Pelham and
Go
watch
to the
bridge
Lincoln
there.
or 3rd Street
Alright.
Bridge.
Check
So
out the water. No, that's what we was going. No, look what happened
sewage.
in the environment. Richie take up the water and you see him show it. And it show what they're doing. No, because Richie not there, they flip the script, you know?
and they want to conceal these facts. And this is what I'm saying. So on November 3rd, to the point, there's a measure on the ballot to reform our charter as a city. We want America to restructure. Guess what? We as a city must restructure. And on November 3rd, you have a chance to force Mount Vernon to restructure itself and be more accountable to you. And that's what we have to do with the presidential election, the Senate elections. And we have to take that energy and say, we must restructure
It's a must.
and rebuild.
Yeah.
And that must be the focus over the next 4 to 10 years, so that we get it right for our kids who are suffering now.
When Richie drafted up the plan for Memorial Field, it was a plan before the COVID.
That's
Now,
right.
when he went and see what the COVID doing, Richie said, no, Gassy, this cannot be the plan. We have to go back to the table. We're going to sit down with the county executive and everybody to, because this need more money. We need to watch this. When the COVID was going on, we see where there was many space needed for hospital, emergency, and that place could have been made bigger with a
dome.
A dome, yeah.
A dome, and it could have had, and it should have the capability as doubling as a military installation
Right.
to protect the people from a healthcare situation. But, these big visions need big leadership.
Yes.
And we have all the right players around to get it done. We just need them to get on board with the vision of making it bigger.
You know why?
And that's
everybody-
why I'm going to keep advocating for it, because
Mr. Mayor.
it doesn't just have to be my idea.
Look what happened.
We got to get it done.
Look what happened last week. Look on the headline last week. The headline. Mount Vernon was fined $90,000.
90 million.
19 years because of
The sewage.
the sewer. What Richard Thomas was talking about over
Yeah.
and over and over, and don't get the money. We fight night and day to get this. He was talking about the lady down there at house full of mess, and he was talking about how mess getting into people, everything. Same thing that the news. And a lot of people were saying, Richard Thomas only want to make argument. He don't want, he don't want peace, And look what happened now. No, everybody feels shame and say, oh, we need Richard Thomas now for this. This is what we need in this time, a real leadership. You look at the punchy line. Richard Thomas was talking about it a long time. The senior come first. God for them building pharmacy inside the building. So him talking about federal money, because it cannot be the same like one time. And see there, they have to do that. They have to get a comprehensive plan where the senior and the kids them are look out for more better than the regular thing going
It's
on.
on the ballot. A comprehensive
Yeah,
plan is on the
old
ballot.
people, Mr. Mayor, now
Yeah.
standing in line 4 or 5 hours to get some bread and soda when they live far, they have to
And-
walk far.
And this is where I'm
It's
saying
over now.
we have to really look at the real issues. So as we look at this presidential election and we look at all of the dynamics that are playing out on the local level too,
Yeah.
remain engaged, remain ready, keep your gloves, you can take a swing, and if you have to get, even more, into the mix, take those gloves off and swing again, because we got a lot of swinging to do to rebuild our country and our community.
And we using Floyd Mayweather gloves on this episode, you know, flyway medal, you know, and you know, we want to borrow Roy Jones' glove, but you say you have to do something with Mike Tyson.
I don't know, we're going to see what happens there. But,
no, let me touch sports. Let me touch sports. We can't have to touch sports. You know, when it comes to gloves off, gloves on, you know, everybody was saying, you know, the best final would be Boston and the Lakers, because, you know, the Lakers,
that's right.
they just blew away the other team. But what happened? They get Miami. No, what they're saying now, Mr. Mayor, is two big teams.
Two big teams.
The Boston would be a smaller team compared. So this gonna be like two similar teams playing where, yeah, that's how our fans them, you know. Our fans them is so beautiful in Mount Vernon. They love the mayor, they love Jassy. So I'm not gonna even say nothing, but all I have to say, that kid who named LeBron James, God bless him.
Right.
God bless that talent he have. And you're seeing something that remind me when Michael Jordan or all the other brother them was doing basketball. This is a once in a lifetime moment what this kid doing, LeBron James.
That's right. God bless him, because he has been in the past 9 out of 10 NBA championships. He's won 3.
Yeah.
And, you know, look, God bless him, because I want to see him get 6, 7 rings.
But you know something, here.
I think he can do it.
He's a young man in Miami, you see.
I think he can do
it. A
it.
hungry young man. This young man, you see, I don't remember his name, you know, he started to grow a beard now, but I was watching him long time when he just entered basketball. And I tell you, so that young man, he remind me of Kobe, almost. I don't remember his name, but he's a very, very good player. And I'm telling you, Laverne, watch out for Miami. They're not coming to watch you.
Yeah, they come to play.
Triple W and all those things. They're coming, and they're coming hard because they have a legacy. You know, so I don't know, you know, I like Miami, you know, and I like, you know, this is good.
Look,
for me.
I want to see LeBron get another ring. I want to see him catch up to the king.
And let me shout out Yankee, the Yankees old man.
Man, guys, keep it together. Please, Yankees, keep it together. Please,
Yankees.
Mets, oh my God, they had their...
I had a 2 team, the Jets and the Giants, you know.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of them either, but I mean, I'm a Giants fan, but geez,
I'm a Giants
you guys,
but the young man,
we got our work cut out.
Yes. With the sacred ball play out and rebuilding the coach, everything, it is not easy. But make me do a recap. Oh my God, the back tone is so good.
That's it.
We love it. It is Mount Vernon in location and gloves off on TV, streaming Richard Thomas and Father Gassy, the original from Kingston, West Bay Farm Road. You know, Waterhouse, the Grammy community, you know, first Grammy community. And this is our 14th edition of Gloves Off. I want to big up Richard Thomas' beautiful wife and his family. Big up Cherry, you know, big up Cherry Buckers, you know, a lady who will always support and give me all the love a woman to do, man. And pick all our fans. And the people who is really touching our lives, I want to thank you so much. We never get the opportunity to turn, you know, for turn up, and so far we've gone over 5,000 likes now. We thank you. And gloves off, gonna continue.
That's it. We're gonna keep swinging. And we're going out to Yellow Pain. You know, my vote don't count. You gotta check this brother out. Very talented. And I can tell you right now that Yellow Pain got something to say. But he talks about how you gotta remember the Congress.
Gloves on.
Keep swinging. Telling you. Here we go. Never know. We talking about this throughout the show.
We forgot it when we got older. It's the judicial, the legislative, and executive. Well, all we know is the executive. That's the mayor or the governor and the president. Now, none of them 3 people make no laws. They just be checking them. The laws come to their desk and all they do is say no or yes to it. So when the news station...
We go hard.
That's it.
We go hard.
Shout out to Yellow Pain. We got knowledge.
We gotta focus on the legislative branch. Yeah, they the ones that make the laws. Yeah, they the ones write how much food stamp money you get on the
So as you reflect on our show, Yellow Pain basically sums it up in his song.
Yeah.
You got to focus on all the other candidates on the ballot. Another show coming up where we're going to get into these issues, especially the Comptroller's Report on Mount Vernon, because I have a lot to say about this. And you know that there's a lot to get into there. But we're going to get through it.
Yes, we will be back for the 15th episode.
Gloves on, gloves
yeah,
off.
Man. Respect to all our national force out there and the first responder. All of them.
Bless up.
Yes, bless up.